Yes, it's an early preview between Mexico and South Africa, and we are warming up for the Summer World Cup. And with me to do that is Mustafa Segodi. Warifa Marcos is here as well. My name is still Afolabi Olalokuya. Welcome to the show.
All right, welcome to all of our friends from South Africa. This is Complete Football Africa. So we've forgotten about the AFCON. Now it's time to better things. Opening match, just like 2010 when you hosted Mexico and drew. Now Mexico is going to host you up in Azteca Stadium. And that's going to be the first advantage that Mexico has is high altitude. So I think they're going to have more endurance. But when I look at this game, if you play it on neutral ground, it's a very good game. Mexico plays a high line press, and what they do is they try to squeeze you and press you until you lose the ball. And as soon as you lose the ball, they go directly to their wingers for counterattack. Now, South Africa on the opposite. South Africa likes a slow build-up, but when South Africa doesn't have the ball, it covers players. It plays man-to-man marking. They cover players and they're patient. And what they wait for you to do is to make a mistake. And if you make a mistake and South Africa gets the ball, they can either make vertical passes or they can make lateral passes. They have more options on their counter, and they're more patient. They have a lot of options. And I think that one of the best players on their team that's versatile is Apollos, because Apollos can go to the wing or he can go to the center. So when they get the ball in the midfield, usually through McKenna, if they get the ball, they can make a pass through the center, either to Lyle Foster or to Apollos if Foster is playing high, or they can go to the corners to someone like Bafana, or who usually plays on the right, Segodi, who plays on the right?
It's either Nkota or they'll use Moremi.
Moremi. But I think in this game, they may not start Moremi or Nkota, but we'll take a look at the lineup. But whatever, they usually go to the right, but sometimes they have options because La Foster is deadly in the center. But if La Foster drops into the midfield, then somebody like Mofokeng is going to move forward. So South Africa has several options for what they can do if they get the ball back. But this is going to be interesting because Mexico is going to try to squeeze them and press them. And it's going to be interesting to see how it develops. I'm predicting that this game is going to be 2-1 Mexico because they're playing at home in high altitude, but it's very hard to say. Before we go to the possible lineups, what do you think, Mr. Segodi?
No, absolutely. I think it's going to be a very tough game for both teams because remember, Mexico will be in a very, 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 they will be under pressure. But they're playing at high altitude, which the stadium really favors them because it's at home. They're used to the altitude there. But it also doesn't affect South Africa that much because we have high altitude. They've played in a high altitude as well. If you can look at the Bloemfontein Stadium, it's also on a high altitude. So I think Mexico is going to have the ball. That is we don't have a chance of dominating Mexico at home. And it also suits the South African style of football because we are very good when we play on a counter. Because if you look at all the games that we lost, we dominated the ball, but we didn't know what to do with the ball. But if you give us the space behind the defense, we have players that can hurt you. But after saying all that, but I think they're favoring Mexico, maybe a 1-0 or 2-1. It's a 2-1.
And also the X factor is Bruce, because Bruce was indecisive in the AFCON. He doesn't know what he wants the team to do. Keep changing the lineups, keep changing the tactics. So Bruce is a problem now. He needs to have a set strategy. What do you think, Segodi? Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, Hugo Bruce, I think he was making mistakes at AFCON. He was panicking. He didn't know his first 11. It seemed like he just arrived to coach the team during AFCON. He didn't know what to do. He didn't even know how to deal with physicality. He didn't have plan B. That's what I can say. Yeah. Because he was just chopping the team around.
Yeah. Me and Afolabi came up. Oh, did you have something else to say? Segodi, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I'm saying he didn't even know how to deal with the physicality of the Africans.
Oh yeah.
The West Africans.
If I were him, what you should do then is you're supposed to try to do like how these guys play Côte d'Ivoire. You just rotate the ball and stay away. No, not Senegal. Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire rotates the ball and they don't make contact with you. They evade. You understand what I'm trying to say, Afolabi?
Yeah. I understand.
Yeah. Because Senegal plays physically, but Senegal can do both. They can play physical or they can I think South Africa needs to use more space and keep the ball away from the other team and escape the trap. or the pressure, because they have skilled enough players. And if you try to pressurize them too much, just put the ball through the center to Lau Foster. Lau Foster is also physical, so they can have him drop into the midfield. What do you think of Afolabi? But we'll get back to that. We'll quickly to that Afolabi, then show us the squad lineup. Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, but what do you think about what I said to Godi about if it's a team that's physical, they should just keep the ball away from them?
Absolutely. They need to keep the ball, but they also need to find a way of like even driving forward. Because what I've realized during AFCON, they didn't know how to take the ball forward. They were just making back passes at the back against teams like Cameroon.
Who's that number 13? Who's the number 13? That guy's physical for South Africa.
Number
Sithole. Sithole is good. And then also maybe play Moremi on the white, because Moremi's a little
He's
bit...
one of the guys that sits in the hole, Sithole.
Okay, so this is just me and Afolabi stayed up for 10 weeks determining what South Africa will play Mexico story. we consulted AI. So look at this lineup. This is the lineup for Mexico. What do you think? I don't know if this is correct, but we'll find out. Rowan wins. But look at the midfield. You have Mudau. Go to South Africa. Move it up. So defense, I already see a problem here. So you have defense, Mudau, Ngezana, Sibisi, and Modibo. But what about that guy that plays for Chicago? Do you think he should start, or he doesn't have enough experience for this first game in defense? The guy that plays for Chicago.
I think he should replace Nkosinathi Sibisi.
Okay. Now in the midfield here, I don't see Mbata. Do you think he should play in the midfield? Who should he replace? No, this is right. Zwane is not going to be playing. Zwane is not going to be playing, so that should be. But
if Zwane gets, no, I think if Mbata was to play, he will replace Sipepelo Sithole, because if Zwane get enough game time, he's a guy that can hold up the ball up front and then start those combination plays in the opposition's half, because that's what we lack during AFCON. Okay, because so Zwane knows how to break the lines.
Yeah, and also Zwane is flexible. He can actually play box to box, but he can also attack a little bit too. So now, if you look at Apollos and Foster for sure. Do you think Mofokeng should be there or Moremi? I think maybe Mofokeng, because Mexico is not physical. But go ahead. What do you think? Yeah.
No, I think this is a perfect up front. Like up front, you got it 100%. If I was the coach, I'll play the same 3 players up front, and then I'll have Zwane behind Lyle Foster, like as a 10, because that's what we lack. But Mofokeng and also Napolis, this is the perfect combination, because these guys, they're very mobile, and then they know how to play those combinations. They know each other as well, and they can find each other at any place.
And you said in defense you would put the guy from Chicago. What's his name again? All these names that start with M. What's the Chicago guy in defense? All right. Apollo, we did a good job on coming up with the lineup. We're the coaches for that.
The lineup is perfect.
Yeah, sure.
The lineup is perfect for me.
Mexico is not a physical team. I think if they play a team that's more physical, like let's say Holland, then maybe they should put, as a forward, instead of Mofokeng, put Moremi or someone like that. But what about Nkota? So Nkota will be a super sub, right? He'll be a super sub. Yeah.
Yes, you can have Nkota and then Moremi as guys that can come up and change the game. That's what I think.
You can take that part down now. Okay, so what are your thoughts on the matchup between Mexico and South Africa, Mr. Warif? Yeah. Who's Mr. Warif there?
Warif.
Okay, go ahead, Afali. What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Okay, so
good evening, everyone.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. What are your thoughts on the matchup?
Hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. The game between South Africa and
Afali, put him on mute. His connection is bad. Put him on mute. Your connection is bad. You have to retire him. Put him on mute, Afali. Afali, what are your thoughts on the matchup, please? Yeah.
Okay, so basically, like Segodi said, South Africa, in my own opinion, I think South Africa has to really slow down this game. Make the game boring. Make it boring for Mexico. He did mention the fact that South Africa too, particularly Bloemfontein, is at a high altitude. But you see, if you compare them, Azteca Stadium in Guadalajara in Mexico is about 7,000 feet above sea level compared to 4,000 where Bloemfontein is. So that's going to be significant. So South Africa cannot afford to bust their lung trying to press Mexico. I think they need to play slow, play their tiki-taka short passing game and try and stay in the game so they don't lose their stamina and endurance. I think with their one-touch play, they can actually find a way through to the attack. And like you rightly mentioned, I'm still yet to find a player for South Africa that resembles Themba Zwane. Zwane has the skill set that no South African now can replace him. And if he's able to make it, he's very good in tight spaces. He can collect the ball with his back to the goal, and he can thread the ball through the eye of a needle. He's the only number 10 they have now, and they didn't have at the World Cup. So
and if they have him there, he's physical enough also. And has enough energy
enough as well.
So that Mokoena, because Mokoena is getting older, Mokoena won't have to do so much work.
So if he's able to play behind the front three, then there's a chance that South Africa would open up the Mexican team. I don't see anything particularly fantastic with Mexico, although they can be very physical and they play very hard football. They have a very good striker in Raul Jimenez, who plays for Fulham in England. They also have Edson Alvarez, who plays for West Ham, another very good CDM. And they have Lozano, who's a very trickish winger. But beyond that, they don't have any stardust particularly. So I think it's a team that South Africa can play against. They can hold their own.
They use the high press, and they're like Congo and Gabon, in which they try to squeeze you. They try to squeeze you in the midfield. So you have to be careful. And also, as soon as they get the ball back, they go to their wings. So South Africa's gonna have to make sure that they're not too high up.
They mustn't run too much. That altitude factor for sure.
Yeah. What do you think? Let's see, Mr. Warif, is your system better? Yeah.
Warif.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, the game between South Africa and what's it called? Mexico, which is one of the most. It's going to be an interesting game, even though we know in 2010 they played a 1-1 draw. So it's going to be like a repeat of the last game that they played, and it's not going to be easy for South Africa. I heard somebody saying that Mexico will be under pressure. I bet you the Mexicans, they will not be under pressure. The South Africans will be under pressure because the Mexicans, they are going to play with the crowd. They're going to play with the crowd. And again, no Mexicans, they are not like Europeans. They are physical, they are smart, they are fast. So the South Africans, they might want to, what's it called? Man mark the Mexicans. If they try that, I think it's going to be difficult for the South Africans. And one thing again, the South Africans, they should be careful of counter-attack because Mexicans, they are fast. They are not the Mexicans, they are not this kind of huge people. They look somehow smallish and they are fast. So I know they are South Americans, if I'm correct. And South Americans, they are very skillful. So if I'm to advise South Africans, I think they should just like hold the Mexicans to like maybe 10 to 15, 20 minutes. By the time you get to 10 to 15, 20 minutes and they don't score, you see that the game will be balanced. But if they want to play the fast game with the, Mexicans, I think the Mexicans will hurt them to it. Then again, football now, everything boils down to the midfield. So South Africa, they should start building on their midfield and also look at countries that play similar football with Mexico and try and play friendly games to build up that style of play. So if not, South Africans and Mexicans, they will hurt the South Africans.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens because I know we predicted that Mbata won't play in this match. But like I said, Mbata is able to give vertical passes, but what Zwane gives you is more work in the midfield and more versatility. What do you think, Segodi? So we're hoping that Zwane is healthy. And also, Zwane is the spirit of that team. What do you think, Segodi? He's the spirit. He deserves one more World Cup before he retires. Yeah.
No, you got it 100% correct. Like we're playing Panama in March.
Yeah.
We're playing Panama. I think Zwane should be there because if you get Zwane, he's a guy that can carry the team. Like when he's there, the team ticks. Like he's able to put them in tune. Even if the team was not playing well, but once Zwane start holding the ball, the whole team start ticking. Like he has this thing of making South African football look different. Like he makes them have chemistry. He's the one that is the link. It's like the bread, the cheese between the two bread. Like if he's not there, we struggle.
He's the Russian between the bread. You know the Russian sausages. Mm-hmm. That's a joke. We know what I'm
absolutely.
Talking about. Yeah, he's the actual.
No, he's the guy. He's the guy that resembles like South African football. He's got that that flair that we normally.
But also, he doesn't have too much flair. He's a mixture of flair and hard work too. He's not too much flair, not too much.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a blue collar player, man. Very rugged. Yeah.
Yes, so for sure. He's got something that people like Dr. Kumalo and Shus Moshwe had in the 1996, and he's also a hard worker.
Okay, so let me ask you one question, Segodi, before we end. Mexico is going to try to overload the flanks with their wing backs and their wingers. What does South Africa need to do to counter that without losing their style of football? So they have to worry about that. That might take them out of their game. What would you do? Yeah. Control the tempo of the game.
I think we need to slow the game down. We need to slow the game down and then show that we can play from the back. You know, like playing from the back, we know we are very comfortable with that. Because if you can look at like a team like Sundowns when they were playing during the Club World Cup, they were able to play from the back, but the problem was up front. They need to take each and every little chance that they get, because chances they will create.
Yeah, and that's one problem that doesn't tend to have. But I think if they play what's his name more, Mofokeng more, they didn't play him a lot. It seemed like what our father said, the wingers for South Africa, they want the ball to foot. They don't want to move and create their own chance. So the wingers have to be a little bit more creative. But I think if you have Mofokeng there, he's more creative than Apollos. Apollos does more work, but Mofokeng is more creative. So the wingers for South Africa, they can't just wait to be fed the ball. They're going to have to move off of the ball and find their own scoring so that Lau Foster doesn't have to drop into the midfield, so that he can go straight center and pin down the center backs. What do you think, Mr. Segodi? I almost called you Mofokeng. You understand what I'm saying? So the wingers for South Africa need to be a little bit more hardworking and creative, not just go wide and ask for the ball to their foot, like Afalabi says. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, you remember during the last AFCON, the 2024, we had Pesitao that wanted the ball in behind the defense. He didn't want the ball on the foot. He was always making those runs behind the defense. So this time we didn't have a player like that wants to run behind the ball. They all wanted the ball to foot. That's why we struggle. Because if we get the ball behind the defense, the teams will start dropping back so that we can play in the middle of the park.
And then you can attack them directly. So that opens up Lau Foster to do other things. Yeah.
Yes, true that. So that
so let's start, Mr. Warif, then Afolabi will take us out.
Yeah, if I'm the South African coach that depends on the last Nations Cup, if he will still be in charge, what he needs to do is that go back to their matches, the matches they played in the Nations Cup. Look at it critically, their strength and their weakness, because the World Cup is going to be a different ball game from the Nations Cup. You meet all kind of players, world-class players. So study it. They should look at their strength and their weakness. Try to fix their weakness, then their strength. They need to build more on it. At least with that, there's no team that is not beatable in the World Cup. So if they can do that, I think they are going to do a good one. Yeah.
Now, at the end of the day, I'm going to predict draw. Actually, what's your prediction, very quickly, Mr. Warif? I'm only saying draw because it's.
I'll go with 2. I'll go with 2-1 Mexico.
Okay, what about you, Segodi? Yeah.
I think we're going to get a late goal. We'll win 1-0. I think Mexico will be frustrated, We'll be frustrated if we can keep them.
I'm surprised they go there and say, Mexico, what? We can beat. I'm just kidding. You win 1-0. Also, but let me tell you something. There's more pressure on Mexico. There's more pressure on you when you play at home than on the people on the road. So
Yes.
Mexico has more pressure.
Because if they don't score in the first half.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Afolabi?
I quite agree with you by saying that the South African midfielders need to instruct the forwards to run into space so that instead of expecting the ball to fit, they can feed them in spaces. See, in football, it's more difficult to defend spaces than to man mark. So I think it's better for them to continue to run. Mokoena and Zwane, yes. Mokoena and Zwane have the quality to find their players if they run into very good spaces. And like you rightly mentioned, I think I'm going for a draw too here. I see a replica of 2010 Mexico-South Africa game. I think it was Sifiwe Shabalala that scored for South Africa, and then Rafa Marquez equalized. So it's going to be a draw again, 1-1.
1-1. All right, Afolabi, take us out. Brilliant show.
Yeah, it's been another good football show. We have been looking at an early preview, South Africa, Mexico in the upcoming World Cup, and it's been a wonderful time with Segodi Mustafa Warifa. My name is still Afolabi. We'll be back again sometime during the weekend or next week. Bye for now.
All right, nice one. So Segodi, I'll see you on Monday. Take a break, man. Are we texting you or what?